Hi. So the van has been bought on Monday the 17th of August 2025, and this is really the first time that I've been able to even look at the van since purchasing it. And today is Wednesday the 20th of August, and it's around about 7:30, and I'm just gonna have a little look inside of the van and see what I need to do this bank holiday weekend in stripping the van before we start any conversion work. So it's a 2018 plate van in pretty good condition, 60,000 miles or 62,000 miles on the clock. And go inside here, you can see that it's got a little bit of shelving and stuff that has been left by the previous owners. The bulkhead is in good condition. We think there's a bit of a problem with the side door that will need to be adjusted because it's not opening very well. But at the moment, that's not a big deal because it's in my drive and I can't get in the side door because the drive's too small. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to look to see if I can remove some of this just excess stuff here. Okay. We've just removed about 50 screws and we're about halfway to dismantling this first little block. And so the process has begun. It's 10 to 9, Thursday night, about 1.25 hours worth of work. And we've cleared out all of the excess shelving and stuff like that. Next job will be to remove the side panels and see what we've got underneath. And there's all the junk. Okay, so it's time to finish to the night. The batteries run out on the electric screwdriver, but we've managed to get 3 or 4 of the side panel pieces off as well. And it's looking very clean underneath. Cannot see any rust or signs of leaking. So that's all good news. We will return to this hopefully tomorrow. Okay, so it's Friday, just the start of the afternoon, and we managed to strip the whole van of all of the woodwork yesterday and the floor as well. And the next part of the process is to clean all the metalwork down, and then there's quite a lot of holes in the floor, which you can't see because they're quite small. I fill all of those holes so that it makes it watertight, and also remove any spots of dust, like rust, should I say, spots of rust on the side, like the ones you can see here. So we haven't got much rust in this van, fortunately, but we're using some of this Hammerite rust or crust to get rid of whatever bits there are still left. You pour it out of the bottle into a separate container. Then you just apply it with a paintbrush to the rusted areas. Most of mine are where there's been screws where there's been screw holes in the side of the van. As you can see, I've already applied some here. And I'll just do a little bit to show you how that works. So apparently it's supposed to turn blue. You can see a little bit of a bluey color when it's applied to the rust, and it makes it stable. Then what I'm doing as well is I am sanding down with my orbital sander all the little holes that have been made by the previous floor, so they're a little bit smoother, and also to get rid of the rust. Okay, so we've continued this afternoon, and we've done all of the rust treatment, although I didn't realize that I should wipe away the excess prior to finishing the job, as it's a bit of a pest to clean up after the event. And then what we've then been doing is using this baby here, which is called Steel Stick. That's in reverse there, but basically that's what it says. Steel stick. You cut a little bit off, don't cut too much because it does harden very quickly. And then you rub it together, not with your fingers, but inside of gloves or with gloves on. And make sure you don't wear your best gloves, because as I found out, it pretty much ruins the gloves that you are wearing. So basically here was one of the holes that was made by the floor. And what I'm doing is filling in each and every hole. And the reason why you don't want to do too much at once, I just cut off a little bit at a time, was because it dries very quickly and then you can't use it. So it goes hard pretty quick. And I'm hoping that once it's hardened, I'll be able to sand it down, make it a bit more smooth, and then we will be able to paint over the top of it. So okay, so it's now 8:15 Friday evening. We've done a little bit more work this afternoon. Basically what we've been doing today, been filling in all the holes, rust treating the holes first of all, filling in any holes in the floor here that have been caused by putting down the previous flooring, and then once those have been filled, just basically sanding it back, and then put some hammerite paint over the top just to give it a bit of extra protection. I think now we're in a position where pretty much the inside of the van has been rust proofed. We're still going to do some work on the outside of the van, but there's not that much that needs to be done, to be honest. But we'll do the under sealing of the van at another time. And tomorrow we might have a little look at drilling our first hole. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with a feed for the electricity, which is a very small hole. It'll either go down on this side over here or this side over here, and then we can work from there. Okay, today is Saturday morning and we're going to drill our first hole in the van, and it's to fix a connection for the outside electricity when you're on a campsite. I've drilled the first hole. It was really easy. It went through the metal much easier than I thought it would be. Now I've got to make sure I've got everything lined up before I do the cutting and cut the shape. This is the shape. Okay, so you've managed to fit the electricity connection, but the main part of today has also been looking at van layout. So what I've done is I cut up the plywood that was on the walls that I'm not going to replace. I put the floor back temporarily but not fixed it down, and I've just tried to put some things into position to give us an idea of where things might go. Now we're planning on having some double chairs so that we've got more seating in the van behind the driver's seat. Then we're looking at the possibility of a shower and a toilet over here, seating in this area underneath the yellow markers there, which would also have a table, seating on the other side over here, and then the kitchen by here. At the back of the van, we're going to have a double bed, but not as high as this, and the bed will then pull out so it becomes twice the size, ready for sleeping on. So those are the kind of plans at the moment that we are looking at, but it could all change. So here I am. I'm on the top of the roof of the van, and the task today before it starts raining is to get a hole in the van and drop in the fan that we're going to be using in the van. So I've created a wooden frame, which you can see here. It's quite a long way down, and I've begun the process of cutting in a smaller drill bit. Now I'm moving up to the size of drill bit, and then we will be using a jigsaw to cut out. I've got something on the other side to catch all the dirt and metal shavings, and hopefully it will all go cleanly. Okay, so good news. That was pretty painless. It's quite loud when you are jigsawing into metal, but I think my square has come out pretty good. My unit fits in it, which is fantastic. I just need to do a little bit of the edging just to tidy it up a little bit, and then I need to paint the edging to make sure that it is rust proof. So that's the next plan. Okay, so I've just discovered something new. I'm doing well with my fan fitting, but I thought to myself, hang on a minute, I'm putting this fan in the van, and the likelihood is it's not going to be connected to power for probably quite a few months. So how do I know it's working? Did a little bit of research. I'm now using the battery of my van, and I've got my positive and negatives attached to the system, and basically I've rigged it up so that I can test the 12-volt system, and I'll show you what happened. Okay, so it's connected up by here. I'm turning on my power here. I'm turning on my remote control here, and amazing, it goes round. It's going around a lot faster than you're seeing it on the video for obvious reasons, but it's all good. So which is great news, because now I know the fan works when I put it into the roof. And so the fan is fitted, sealed around the edges. Doesn't need to be pretty because nobody's going to see it on the roof, but making sure there's plenty of sealants to make sure it's waterproof. I'm going to leave the plastic cover on the top for the moment, because that will protect it for a little while. And we still got to put skylight over in the corner over there, a fan over there, a little round fan for the bathroom, and hopefully we're going to have 2 solar panels going crossways, one by here and one by here. So that's the plan.